School. Welcome to the King Mula podcast. Welcome to the King Mula podcast. Welcome to the King Mula podcast, y'all. Everybody, welcome to the King Mula TV podcast. I'm your host, King. Ooh, this is a good one. This is a pretty good one. This is a nice Monday. It's a very, very calming Monday. It's like a very, I don't know. It's just not a regular Monday for me. It's things have changed. I think I said that. I believe I said that in one of the earlier episodes that when I was talking about seasons changing and how things are gonna look different, and I'm welcoming change. Well, that change is here. Schedules is all different, just a slightly different. So I gotta embrace that. But it's coming with some new benefits. So I'm not really mad at it. So yeah. That's just what it is. But today's topic, we gotta go. Today's topic is definitely something I think a majority of people should relate to, especially in the US of A. It's about what is school teaching us? What is school teaching us? What is school teaching us? Now, after those pauses, and I said it to you 3 times. Why is that? Why did you think I said it 3 times? I wanted you to sit with it. That's why. I wanted you to understand why I'm saying it, because it is that question encompasses the entire episode. So what has school been teaching us? I like to go off of personal experience, of course. And I'm pretty sure even though it's personal experience, this is probably the experience of many students that I'm pretty sure they can understand. But the only reason why they keep having to do this is, well, they feel as probably that they have no choice or something like that. Yeah, so something was weird. I wasn't picking up anything. It was kind of freezing my laptop. I don't know if it caught it or if it didn't, but I guess I'll say it again just in case. But I said what I said. Here it is doing it again. What's going on with this? I said what I said because I want to establish what is going on, that is going on in school life for those in grade school primarily, because I mean, I'll touch on college as well, but secondary education or continuing education as they call it. Um, yeah, so I will touch on that as well, but right now it's mainly about grade school and what we're being taught to do for 13 years, 13, 14, 12 to 14 years. You know, I want to include as much people as I can, so I say 12 to 14 years. And honestly, simple answer is that they're teaching us to be obedient workers. That's just the truth. Just obedient workers who do not go against the status quo, who do not question, who just do their job and make somebody else rich or make these corporations rich than they already are. So, you know, primarily why that was a thing, why school did that, I believe it was because they were doing that because of, you know, around, I forgot, in the 1900s, where there's a lot of war and going on. For them going to school, it was like, it's helping people become factory workers. But now that all of that is over, or so we know, now the teaching on how to make factory workers is outdated, in my opinion. So, because it's not really teaching us anything. It's not teaching us how to make sustainable incomes for ourselves or go after our passion or, you know, just dive into what we needed to dive into. There's a lot of people that's unhappy with the jobs that they have right now because after high school, if they got a job during high school, but after high school primarily, they have to get a job and in order to support themselves or help in their family or, you know, go to continuing education, which is college. And even then it's just like, what did we really learn besides the same old things that we've been learning for quite a while? The biggest thing is we learned it more in depth instead of learning how to follow our passion and follow our heart and follow things that and build real life skill sets that would help us survive, and not only survive but thrive in the world. Because all that school is doing right now is just teaching us how to pass. They're just teaching us how to pass. Okay, from the information that they put in the textbook, which is often altered and never really includes the full context of whatever situation that it is, the full story, or whatever the case may be, it's not teaching us anything. It's important to know your history, yes. It's important to know how to read English, yes. It's important to know how to do math, yes. It's important to know how to do science, yes. But outside of teaching us more in-depth things, because most people, they're not really going to retain a lot of this stuff that really isn't piquing their interest. Now, like, I understand how, okay, this is how for me, in high school, we had 6 periods. That's 6 classes. For those who don't know what periods are, but those are classes. 6 classes, start from 6 and then end at 2. No, it starts at 7, but and then it ends at 2. Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Oh, okay, yeah, starts at 7-ish 30, 7:30. And ends at 2. So, we had those classes. They got requirement, which they would call prerequisites. Those are just mandatory classes that everybody has to take in order to meet some type of standard requirement in, I guess, a federal requirement or a state requirement, but I'm pretty sure they're all kind of connected in one way or another. So if you really want to look into that type of technical aspect, you can. It's up to you. I'm not really going to go over that. I'm just pulling it a part of the story of what I'm saying. So we had English. We had 4 English classes we needed. How many math classes? 3 math classes, and then, or I think it was 3. It was 3 or 4, but no, I think it's 4 too. So 4 English and 4 math, like 3 science credits, and then I forgot for history. I don't know, 2 or 3. I don't really remember it too well because I didn't save anything from that long ago. It wasn't that long ago, but it is that long ago, Yeah, so and after those were required, and we had electives, which are just things that we get to pick. That we get to actually pick. Like electives are what you would call extracurriculars, what I would call extracurriculars. Not after school things, but obviously they can be, but this is for classes that you're in. So let me just say extracurricular, PE was mandatory. Let me just say that. Physical education was mandatory as well. So that's a good one. I love PE, so I ain't have no problem with it, man. But some people don't, lazies. In every generation, trust me. I was just looking at a funny thing, something that reminded me of PE and just how some people are just lazy, and it just reminded me of that exact moment. And I'm saying it right now because of some people who just really don't want to do physical education, who aren't into fitness and this, that, and the other. But yeah. So so there's that, and then the actual electives that you pick, you can pick anything that your school has available. That would usually be your music classes, your art classes, your PE classes, like in-depth PE, not just the required one, but there's more PE classes than just physical education. They probably had weight training or soccer or team sports or something like that. That's just what I remember from mine. But yeah. So electives are something, or the auto club if you're into cars and you get to do that. So yeah, it depends on your school, obviously, but they usually give you a good range of options of what you might be interested in and what you actually might be skilled into. So those are the things I feel like those should be more so the forefront of education for students wanting, for people in general who are trying to grow up in this world and trying to make their way and make a life for themselves and not have to struggle so much and not have to become saddened about their decisions and their situations because they're not doing anything that's really piquing their interest. They're just doing it to pass so that they don't put their family in in getting family in trouble with the government or whatever. And yeah, it's just a lot of factors that go in that isn't really helping students. That isn't really helping the youth at all. Because a lot of the times they're not teaching us to be independent. They're not teaching us about taxes. They're not teaching us about financial management, money, budgeting, saving, investing. They're not teaching us about these safety precautions. These I don't know. There's just a bunch of things that they could be doing, but they are not doing because they're stuck in an old system that is only teaching people how to be factory workers and be obedient and punch in a clock and punch out and not actually have the freedom to choose the life path that they really want. Even though everybody does have the freedom to choose, a lot of people are stuck in what we call the matrix, to where they don't feel like they have a choice. They're being, they're not in control of their own life, is what I'm saying, essentially. So like down to textbooks, like the textbooks were so badly altered, especially in history. Let me go to history for a second. The history textbooks, that's the main textbooks that I'm talking about when I wanted to mention textbooks. These history textbooks, they leave a lot of stuff out. They leave a lot of things out for the people who are teaching us this stuff, like the public school, American public school education. They're leaving a lot of stuff out that, should be taught to people, because it paints the idea, and I'm going to dive into a bit of racism history. It paints the idea that white is right, and it's not. Okay, and that a lot of the times they were doing things for the greater good, and they were not. They're painted that way. And if you actually crack open a real history book, you'll see that a lot of things that you've been taught or that you kind of paid attention to, a lot of it could be a complete lie or somewhat a lie, and somewhat the truth, but it's not really teaching you much of anything. Like, let me go directly to the civil rights movement. A lot of that, even like, they only gave you like a couple pages or one page of the civil rights movement outside of February. In a historical textbook like the McGraw-Hill and other textbooks that revise history are using revisionist methods to revise the history that was made way back when. From our grandparents or great grandparents, if you're younger, listen to this. If you're much younger, I should say. But yeah. That's exactly like, I understand exactly why they do this, because, they want to paint a certain narrative. They want to keep a certain amount of control and this, that, and the other. And like I said, obedient workers, punch in, punch out, never really have the freedom to check, to see what you want to do. But it's not right. I'm not feeling it, because it's not teaching us how to find our passion, how to find our purpose, or if we got a purpose or multiple purposes, or whatever the case may be. It's just not. It's an outdated system, and there's one thing that's called the No Child Left Behind thing. And some of these children should have been left behind, and it's not really to diss at them. It's just, if a kid is actually failing, they need to know that they're failing. You cannot pass a kid because I don't know, maybe because you're trying to meet a quota, or maybe it just looks better that you're passing all your students, and it gives you a better score on whatever metric that it is, giving you a better score on. But it's terrible. I mean, the school ratings and stuff like that. I know there are school ratings like that. They still use the grade scale, the A, B, C, D, F, and there's school ratings that are still a part of placing a school in a certain ranking. So just to say that, you can't, if the child's gonna fail, I mean, I feel like child's failing is more to what I'm saying, because it's not just the child failing. Like, why are they failing? Is it like, what's going on? Is there something going on in their home life that is preventing them, that is causing them to fail? They could be really bright students. There's a lot of bright students out there. It's just a lot is going on in their household or at school, to where it makes it harder for them to actually achieve what they want to achieve, and to actually, excel. So I think the biggest thing about this is, they're not really teaching children anything. Now, like I said, I'm not really going to mention elementary because they need to learn. Of course, elementary, they're going to learn their phonics. They're going to learn how to spell. They're going to learn how to write simple sentences and then longer sentences and then, baby mini paragraphs. When they get to that age, they're going to learn all the basics and stuff like that. But, a lot of after that, I think middle school is the time where they really should be. Well, it could be early elementary. Well, it could be late elementary, like fourth, fifth grade or something like that. Third, fourth, or fifth grade, I'd say you can start them, getting them like into what they really want to do in life, finding their passion. It's got to be a collective effort, either from the parents and teachers or the parents themselves, or just the role models, the coaches, just people that are in the children's life, because you can tell the difference when there's a positive environment of when a child excels, and usually if a child is slipping and there's something going on in their homes or in the environment that is causing them to fail. So yeah, it's a lot going on with that. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but the main point is school is not teaching us anything. Like anything, like a lot of the information, like I said, was altered and this, that, and the other. So school is really not teaching us anything. In fact, after graduation, a lot of people want to go to college, or that's what we've been told. Obviously, in society, they always told us after high school, you're going to go to college or straight to the workforce or in the military, whatever. But usually a lot of people are going to go to college, and a lot of people end up dropping out in college as well. There's a lot of high school dropouts, but college, there's probably even more dropouts because of life, because they don't have their parents or parent, looking after them anymore and they got to help and pitch in with the bills. So, life gets hard. Now they got to balance work, school, and, home life. It's a lot more different than it was just school and home life, or work and home life. Now, if they're balancing all three, it's a lot. It really is. And I've had issues with it. I've heard of girls in my classroom, college. This was college, that are picking up like 2 jobs, and they pick up 2 jobs, and and they're full students as well. They got a job or 2 jobs, and they're a full student, and then they got that is a lot. And for college, they teach you a little bit more. You still got to take English. You still got to take math. That's not really from what I've read or seen. They saying that math helps you develop logic. I don't really know how true that is. Well, the way how they teach math, at least, because there's different types of math you can teach, and the Asians, they teach their math a whole lot differently and a whole lot simpler. In many of the cases that I've seen in the videos around social media, that got me thinking man, if I would have known how to do it this way, it would have been a lot quicker for me to do my work and then get to the next thing. So, college, it teaches you a little bit more. So you get to pick your classes. Of course, you pick your major, which that is pretty much the degree you want to pursue, the career you want to pursue. So you choose a major, what they call a major. You can also have a minor, but if you want to look into those things and the definitions and stuff like that, you can. I'm not really going to do it for this episode. But yeah, for major and minors, you pick out the classes you want. You can also get your certificates in college, but there's other people but a good thing is people can go to trade school as well. But I'm probably going to see, it could be a part of this episode. I'll make it a part of this episode. Trade school teaches you more so hands-on to get you into the workforce, and a lot of times they help you find a job or career place where you will be able to establish experience, where you're able to gain experience so that you can get further into your career. That's a lot of the things. When it comes to if you're going to be in healthcare and nursing, or nursing, for example, you can get hands-on experience in the college because there's a lot of classes for it, and it's needed everywhere, and they got clinicals and a lot of things that go into being a nursing student and nursing in general and healthcare in general. So that's a big field. Tech is also a big field. That's what I'm in. It's a big field. There's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of pathways you can go. But you gotta just know whatever piques your interest, go for it. Don't even look back. Just go pique your interest, get a little more information on it, and see if you really want to do it. Just make sure you got all the proper things that you really need to really pursue it. Because without having those, it can really kind of stifle you. And what I really mean is like technology wise, if you don't got a laptop or that could cripple you. Because you're gonna probably more than likely have to download some software that helps you understand industry practices and standards in the software that they use, so that when you get into it, you know what to do, and building up your portfolio and your professional experience. That's just what it's gonna be. So a lot of the times, since school really is not teaching us anything, a lot of people a lot of people have phones nowadays, like supercomputers in your pocket, like I always say. And a lot of the times, social media is teaching us what school doesn't teach us. It teaches us so much. I learned so much from social media or the internet in general, that all the time that I spent in grade school, I just feel like it was like, what was I really doing there? But just being on a time clock and then waiting for each day to pass, because it felt like that a lot of the days felt like that, and I really did not like that. A lot of the times I did not like how that felt. Like I felt annoyed every time that I had to go. Like I was cool with being in school, like if I was learning something actually interesting, like my science classes and PE, I love those classes. Those were my classes. Science and PE, those were my classes. But English, I used to love math until high school. English, I had a good English teacher. I had really good English teachers actually. So I'm not mad about my English at all. It's just I really wasn't too interested. I kind of just wanted to. I didn't even know at that point what I wanted to do, but I wish if the information was there and it presented itself to me, then I would have, got to digging deep in a little more. I had to think and learn outside of school to what I really was like getting into, like what was I interested in. And a lot of people are doing that same thing, and I believe so. I'm gonna stand 10 toes on that. I think a lot of people are actually looking into social media and seeing what they can do with it, or what it's teaching them, and how they can use that to pursue what they really wanted to pursue, instead of just doing the basic prerequisite mandatory requirement that the federal or local state governments want you to do. So I think it's very important that people know. People should already know. School's really not teaching you anything. School is just there, just to keep us in that old dated system, just like how the election. Also, today is election day. Now, I know you may have gotten a few episodes that were, actually released at the same times that the events was happening. This is going to be released a little later in the year. So, but it is election day. So while I'm recording this, because the topics that I'm recording right now, they're in their own. I have a list, and they're numbered. But what I felt like actually talking about, I just pick one and I just do it. So that's pretty much how that works for me. But yeah, overall, schools is really not teaching us nothing. Social media has taught us a lot and so much, from cooking to cleaning to DIYs, do it yourself. That's what a DIY is. To history, to historical context, to quote unquote conspiracies, and just a lot of things about plants, water, nature, home improvement, fitness, health, nutrition, just a lot of things. That social media is such a great tool when it's used for something like that, especially for education. It is a massively powerful tool that we gotta lean more into if this old system really ain't teaching us nothing. If this old system ain't really teaching us nothing, then we gotta be able to we gotta look for this information. We gotta be curious. We gotta be like, well, what does this mean? What does that mean? We gotta get curious again. We gotta question things. We gotta say this, that, and the other. Don't let the teacher, when they say no or this, that, when the teacher says no, or when they don't really answer your question, don't let that discourage you. Look it up online, and look it up from a credible source. A blog is cool, but like a forum is cool as well. But with the information that they say on there, make sure you double check that. Okay, triple check that if need be, with some verifiable sources. Just if you don't know what a verifiable source is, just type it in, search it up. What is a verifiable source? I just gave you the question right there. What is a verifiable source of information? That's a better way to say it. Okay, and then there should be some articles pop up. Read through them. Okay, you gotta read. Reading is very, very important. That's one thing that I feel like a lot of people are not doing, and it's reading. Reading is your fundamental. It's fun for the mental. That is a definite. That is a Damon Wayans reference to My Wife and Kids. It is fundamental. Okay. Reading is fundamental. Well, also, it's been said in the classroom as well, or I think I've read it somewhere in a classroom. Reading is fundamental. It really is. It's fun for your mental. Even if you may not feel that way, it is fun for your brain. Your brain understands that reading is really a tool for you gathering information and able to use that information to better your situation. That is what your mind understands. You might not understand it, but your mind does. Your mind understands these things. That's why it needs you to read. If you start reading, you don't have to read Shakespeare or nothing like that. Read something that you're interested in, and then let that segue into something interesting, and then read about something that doesn't really interest you. They have that duality. Read something that interests you and something that doesn't interest you, but you're going to read it anyway. But also read it's something if it does interest you. Find your passion. That's what it is. Like if you're passionate, if you want to read something, like comic books, okay, keep reading comic books. And if the comic book says something interesting about gardening, look up some gardening articles or something like that, and start reading through, or looking up some gardening books or something like that. Like really get into it. If that's something that piques your interest, okay, you don't have to do it. I'm just suggesting these things, okay? So I think it's very important for the solution to this is to really capture what you really want to learn about. What piques your interest? You gotta start looking. You gotta have that confidence to really look for something. You really gotta seek it. Make sure you seek the answers. Don't just be out here messing around, because you're gonna make your life a lot harder if you're messing around. There's a lot of people that mess around when I was in high school, okay, and you don't know where they are right now, and a lot of them could not be doing well. A lot of them I see are doing pretty fine, but a lot of them could not be doing well. So it is in your best interest to learn as much as you can about the world around you and about the things that make the world go round and this, that, and the other, so you can hold on for it. Okay, so not hold on for it, but so you can live a better life, so you can sustain yourself, your family, or whatever you got going on for, achieving what you really want to do. And with that being said, yeah, so you guys just do that. So I want y'all to drink more water. It's kind of raining a little bit, but there was sunshine earlier. So get some sunshine if you can, whenever time you're listening to this. I don't know, because it might come around winter, so some people might get snow, so I don't know if they're going to get sunlight, but if you can't get sunlight, I don't know, find a different method, or stock up on some vitamin D supplements or something. So y'all do that. Y'all can, y'all do that. And be kinder to people, all right? Y'all know what everybody's going through. There's a lot that the people are going through, all right? Just be kinder. It costs $0 to be kind, okay? All right. With that being said, I'm King. It's King Moolah TV Podcast, y'all. Doozy.